White House Counselor Kellyanne Conway addresses wiretapping claims. Arcadia residents and their dogs participate in a cancer walk. In a mariachi school for anyone ages 6 to 60.
This is Valley View News.
Hello, and welcome to Valley View News. I'm Grecia Lopez.
And I'm Susanna Guzman.
California is joining other states in a lawsuit challenging President Trump's latest travel ban. California says a temporary ban represents unconstitutional religious discrimination. Attorney General Javier Becerra says the changes made by the Trump administration to a second executive order do not go far enough. He says the fight for fair and lawful treatment of all who would seek permission to enter the country is not over.
President Trump told his team that he will not travel abroad for a long period of time in order to make domestic issues a priority. Trump plans on traveling to Sicily, Brussels, Germany, and the United Kingdom between May and July. He is expected to remain abroad for the shortest time possible. Trump plans on making American workers and issues a priority. He has not scheduled a trip north or south of the border.
The United States is hosting a major meeting to discuss strategy in the fight against ISIS. The 68-nation anti-Islamic State conference will call attention to accelerating international efforts to defeat ISIS. State Department spokesman Mark Toner says there has been progress in beating back Islamic State by recapturing most of Mosul and reducing the group's territory. The meeting will be held at the end of the month. Most nations will be represented by their foreign ministers.
White House Counselor Kellyanne Conway spoke with multiple morning shows about the Trump administration's wiretapping claim. She said she has no evidence, but the matter is currently under investigation. Conway was quoted over the weekend saying people are using microwaves that churn into cameras to spy on the Trump team.
I was reflecting what people saw in the news last week, which were several articles about how we can surveil each other generally. The answer I've given about the president and wiretapping in Trump Tower is very simple, and I've said it many times, including this morning on other networks. I'm not Inspector Gadget. I don't believe people are using the microwave to spy on the Trump campaign. However, I'm not in the job of having evidence. That's what investigations are for.
The House Intelligence Committee has asked the White House to provide proof of the claims within the week. The White House is not expected to meet that deadline.
A man is being held on bond for breaching the grounds of the White House with a dangerous weapon. 26-year-old Jonathan Tran jumped over the White House fence and claimed to be a friend of President Donald Trump. Officers say he was carrying 2 cans of mace and a letter written to President Trump. Trump was inside the White House at the time. A Superior Court judge in Washington said Tran poses as a flight risk and a danger to the community.
It's Trump voters who may lose the most in federal health care aid under a Republican plan to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act. The LA Times reports that health care costs and Obamacare subsidies are higher in rural areas where low-income older voters live. They could lose on average $6,000 a year in federal insurance subsidies. Older low-income residents in some parts of California could also have losses. The LA Times says the nation's wealthiest may see a substantial tax credit from their health care costs.
Obamacare requires that every plan that is sold on the individual market must include maternity coverage. If Republicans repeal the Affordable Care Act and remake health care, things may change. The party says they want to jettison the maternity coverage requirement. The total charge for pregnancy and newborn care is about $30,000 for vaginal delivery and about $50,000 for a cesarean section. Before the law, only 12% of individual market plans covered maternity.
Canoga Park Senior Citizen Dance Class is more than just exercise. As CSUN's Ashley LaRue shows us, it's one teacher's effort to bring the community together.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Sylvia Davis has been teaching at Canoga Park Senior Citizen Center for 8 years. She says her students come for fun, exercise, memory, and socializing.
It gives them a variety of dances to do, and not only does it just exercise, they always say, oh, I come for the exercise, but they really come for more. It's just a social thing. Sometimes I feel like I need a whistle because they're all talking. Hey, we have a class here. You paid for a class here.
The dancers average in age from 60 to 80. Dancer Phyllis Steinbrenner is the veteran of the group. She's 91 years old. They learn a variety of dances, including line dancing, but one dancer says they need recognition. Renee Arts says she's disappointed that her doctor and other doctors don't recommend line dancing as an activity.
To me, they should have line dancing because line dancing makes you physically active. You have to have balance. And you have to have a memory, even though the teacher might call the steps, you still have to remember what the various steps are. Like if they say a grapevine, you have to know what a grapevine is.
The class runs for 2 hours, 1 to 3, but obviously there's some breaks in between. You're never too old to get on your feet. The Senior Citizen Line Dance meets here every Wednesday and Thursday. In Canoga Park with Valley View News, I'm Ashley LaRue.
Drug use among teens is dropping nationally. The 2016 Monitoring the Future survey showed a continuing decline in the use of illicit drugs. These drugs include marijuana, alcohol, tobacco, and prescription drugs. The survey has been conducted since 1975. It measures attitudes and substance use between 8th, 10th, and 12th graders. In all 3 grades, illegal drugs have dropped from the recent peaks. In 1991, more than 10% of high school seniors smoked half a pack or more a day. That rate has dropped to 1.8%.
Dogs are good pets. Valley View News reporter Paulina Negretti shows us how some Arcadia dog owners are out to prove their pets are also good medicine.
First, owners and their dogs signed in for this event. They are participating in a cancer survivor walk. It's called Bark for Life. The walk is sponsored by the Cure Cancer Club at Arcadia High School. It raises money and awareness for the American Cancer Society to help fight all types of cancer. Club member Faith Van Haster came to the event to support someone very special to her.
One of my best friend's mom is a cancer survivor, and we brought the whole community together to help her, and it was really important. So I think it's important to bring light to events like these.
Participants walked around the park 5 times and then participated in the dog obstacle course. Dogs are an important part of this program. Veterinarian Sylvia DeMotor says dogs are a valuable companion when battling cancer.
The relationship with a dog is totally non-judgmental. You know, they're always there for you. They're always happy to see you. And that, definitely. I mean, there's so many statistics on how much better people do, whether they're sick or not, if they have a pet.
90% of cancer patients that have a dog finish their radiation and chemo treatments. About a dozen students volunteered, and more than 30 cancer survivors took part. Carter Spierl is the coordinator and advisor of the Cure Cancer Club. He says being involved with the club is one of the best decisions he's ever made.
It's just a way for people to get together with their dogs to raise money and raise awareness about the fight against cancer.
Students gave out gifts for dogs, and Yogurtland donated sweet treats for the humans. The event was a success, and the club is already planning next year's walk.
The Cure Cancer Club at Arcadia High School plans on having an event like this every year. They are passing out dog treats and dog bandanas just like this one with a simple donation, and all proceeds go to the American Cancer Society. In Arcadia, this is Paulina Negretti, Valley View News.
When we come back, we'll take a look at the Holy Festival.
And NASCAR drivers exchanging blows.
Every time I hear the alarm bell go off in school, I think it's an air raid.
A lot of houses in our neighborhood have been destroyed. I like to close my ears and sing songs whenever the bombs come close.
I'm worried our new neighbors won't like us.
But I know it's all gonna be worth it. I just want my family to be safe. But these are not my words.
These are not my words.
These are not my words.
Miss Stevens, I just wiped malware off our system. People have got to stop clicking unsolicited email links and downloading free software unless it's from a trusted source.
Sounds great.
We need a data backup plan in a separate location in case we get hacked.
We need to focus on making profits, not spending them.
Learn to protect yourself from ransomware. If you become a victim, contact your local FBI office.
It's fine that other people like you. It's more important that you like yourself. And I'm comfortable with every part of me. Meals on Wheels coming to my door as someone who's housebound assures me that I'm not forgotten. They care that I'm okay. My name is Asha Ida Bell. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Slave auction posters drawn by 5th graders as a school project were removed from a New Jersey school. The 5th graders were asked to draw examples of an event during a specific colonial time period. The posters listed names of available slaves like 12-year-old Anne as a fine house girl and specified only cash was accepted. Another poster mentioned all slaves were raised on the plantation of John Carter. The posters were called into question after parents noticed them hanging in the hallway during parent-teacher conferences. The school superintendent says the project is a part of a larger colonial America unit that has been used over 10 years.
Demonstrators gathered in downtown LA to protest recent inmate deaths at the LA County Jail. This month, 4 inmate deaths were reported over 9 days. Advocacy groups pressured the LA County Sheriff's Department for accountability and better jail conditions. The Sheriff's Department calls the deaths tragic and unacceptable. 7 inmates have died in the county jail system this year and 20 in 2016.
One person has been arrested in connection with recent Jewish community center bomb threats. A police official says he believes the person arrested is responsible for most of the nationwide calls.
There was other centers across the country that at the same time also received threats, in a similar manner by email.
The threats coincided with the Jewish holiday Purim. They are the latest acts in a recent wave of anti-Semitic incidents across the United States. The FBI and the Justice Department's Civil Rights Division vowed to investigate civil rights violation in connection with the nationwide threats.
Wearing body cams is becoming a standard procedure for many California police officers, but it's still unclear who gets to view the footage. Some activists criticize police agencies that don't release footage after public cop confrontations. An ACLU attorney says it's critical to know how an incident happened, especially in high-interest cases. But police officials say state law exempts evidence from becoming public record. Right now, the LAPD won't release footage without a court order, but officials say they are reconsidering the policy.
A bone marrow match has been found for a Los Angeles County Sheriff Sergeant. 17-year veteran Sergeant George Chavez is battling leukemia. Deputies have been organizing bone marrow matching events at sheriff stations. A letter from the Chavez family was posted online. The letter said a donor has been found and he will be receiving his transplant within a couple of weeks. The family is thankful for the help they got from the community. Chavez will continue requiring blood and platelets over the coming months. If blood platelets donated are not used by Chavez, they will be used to help other patients.
Now here's Eric Scalar with sports.
Thanks. There's been plenty of speculation about a Floyd Mayweather Jr. Conor McGregor mega fight. Last weekend, Mayweather said he would be willing to come out of retirement, but only to fight McGregor. Mayweather said he is tired of hearing all the talk from the McGregor camp and wants Conor to sign a deal. Mayweather even suggested they have the fight in June. A lot can be said about these two fighters, but one thing is for certain, they really know how to hype a fight that might not even happen. Fans experienced more than just racing at last weekend's NASCAR Cobalt 400 in Las Vegas. On the last lap, Joey Logano in the 22 car clips Kyle Busch. Busch was furious after the race, and it looks like he took on Logano's entire pit crew. Kyle Busch came away from the pile with a bloody forehead. Logano was asked what Busch said to him in pit row, but Logano said there wasn't much talking, just punching. Newly acquired Tampa Bay Buccaneer Deshaun Jackson will be wearing number 11, but wide receiver Adam Humphries already wears number 11 for the team. A deal was struck between the players, and Humphries will let Jackson wear the number on one condition. Humphries asked Jackson to donate to a local children's organization as a way to get involved in his new community. In the first ever MLS match in snow, Atlanta United was hotter than ever. Minnesota United hosted Atlanta United as the two first-year expansion teams squared off in -7-degree weather. Joseph Martinez here scored the first goal in the 3rd minute. Off the assist from Miguel Almiron. Almiron does it himself this time, scoring in the top deck, making it 2-0 Atlanta. It was so cold, they even had to melt some of the ice off the field. Joseph Martinez scores his second goal in the 27th minute off a Yamil Assad assist. And Martinez completed the hat trick in the 75th minute, making it 5-1 Atlanta. Atlanta United went on to win by a final of 6-1, securing the first ever victory for the franchise. That's all for sports. Now back to you.
A landslide at a landfill in Ethiopia killed more than 60 people. The government had been trying to resettle people living in the area and had been building a factory to convert waste products into energy. 290 people who were living on the landfill but not injured in the accident were transferred to a youth center in Addis Ababa. Security personnel are still searching for the people who have been reported missing.
Hindus around the world celebrated Holi, the festival of colors, but few women joined in. Here in India and elsewhere, revelers traditionally throw bright-colored powders at friends and strangers alike as they celebrate the arrival of spring. For many Hindus, the festival is harmless fun, but many women are fearful of sexual harassment and often hide throughout the entire festival. Delhi's university's 2 female dormitories were locked up for the day along with several others across the city because women were too terrified to go outside. Many women say the street harassment in Delhi life surges as inhibitions decrease.
After the break, Tyra Banks steals Nick Cannon's hosting gig.
And we will learn more about a mariachi school teaching the community.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
A Philadelphia teen is alleging that motel owners didn't even try helping while she was being trafficked. The teen's lawyer says she was forced to have sex with more than 1,000 men. Lawyers say the owners of the Roosevelt Inn Motel knew the 14-year-old girl was being held against her will for 2 years. The hotel manager denied the allegations. The girl, now 17, is suing for $50,000 in damages.
In light of Women's History Month, Valley View's Alicia Dieguez visited the Women's Research and Resource Center on CSUN's campus. Here's more on the story.
It's one of the oldest in the Cal State system. The center provides services including a food pantry, a toiletry bank, a library, and events. Uta Anderson works at the center.
A lot of students come here to use the food bank, but also to use the space. Hang out, do homework, use the computers, use the library, or ask questions. We have a lot of students that do their service hours here or apply for volunteering.
The center also puts together several events throughout the school year.
Reoccurring events that happen every week or every 2 weeks, and we have spotlight events where we have like a book author or someone come in and do a lecture.
Despite its name, the Women's Center is not exclusively for women. Center Director Shira Brown.
We're a really safe, comfortable place on campus.
CSUN student Myra Rodriguez found out about the center through a professor and decided to become a volunteer. She says the Women's Center is important for what it provides.
I love the Women's Center. I think that it's such a good resource to have on campus, not only for the food pantries, but also building a sense of community.
One of the center's primary jobs is to raise awareness on campus about issues related to gender, race, class, and sexuality. It works on doing that through a variety of activities. The Women's Research and Resource Center is located in the outskirts of Cal State Northridge. The center provides its services Monday through Friday and cannot stress enough that all gender identities are welcome. In Northridge, I'm Alicia Dieguez for Valley View News.
More than 1 billion barrels of conventional oil was discovered in Alaska. Oil giant Repsol said production will possibly begin in 2021 and lead to around 120,000 barrels of output per day. The find could bring an end to budget issues in Alaska and lower oil prices.
A recent study says more high school girls are excelling in science, technology, engineering, and math, but the workplace is still male-dominated. Men make up about 90% of science, tech, and engineering jobs. Men also make $25,000 more per year than women in the same positions. But things are changing. Google has started a new training program to hire more women. Meanwhile, women make up 55% of college graduates in science, technology, and engineering nationwide.
New surveillance footage of shooting victim Michael Brown may show that he did not rob the store in Ferguson, Missouri before he was killed by a police officer 3 years ago. Filmmaker Jason Pollock introduced the clip in a film he produced. The footage shows Brown retrieving a bag he had left in the store, not stealing. Pollock says police released only half of the footage to destroy Brown's character. Police say the video is irrelevant to the investigation since Brown was stopped for walking in the street, not robbery. Since the release of the footage, protests have broken out in front of the store, forcing its closure. Gunshots were heard, but no injuries have been reported. The store's attorney says Pollock manipulated the video.
CSUN students have been looking into issues Black men face in the workforce. To present the results, CSUN held a biannual Men of Color inquiry and student research poster session.
Valley View's Yael Allen talked with Africana Studies professor Cedric Hackett about the research.
Today we're sitting with CSUN Africana Studies professor Cedric Hackett. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
His students did a little research on the trials and tribulations Black men face in professional settings. So I was wondering, you organized this event that's coming up, and I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about, the poster research that your students were working on and what exactly your students were looking into.
Okay, first of all, let me say that this is the 9th event of its kind. It's biannual. And my students in my class, the Black Male and Contemporary Times, they are researching a question or determining a hypothesis on the course content in our class. So it could be anywhere from Black men in fashion, Black men in incarceration, gender issues, and the like.
Why do you think it's important to have this type of research study going on, and why do you think it's important to present this to students on campus?
I think spaces, intellectual spaces where students of color, and particularly Black men, can express their views on their experience. Experience is so important, but normally non-cognitive variables are not the traditional measures of how successful you are, but for Black men it is. It's important for Black men to know that they're not alone in some of the feelings. Some of them could be going through a concept that Dr. Joy DeGruy Leary calls post-traumatic slave syndrome. Sometimes, when they're going through this disintegration from society, this confusion, they take it out on the people closest to them. And so we try to look at that. Some folks have talked about relationships within the family, absent fathers, and things of the like. Those are important concepts to look at.
So lastly, what are you hoping your students gain from this project?
If we can get students to gain the confidence, the self-efficacy to believe in themselves and to believe in their skills and abilities, they'll be more effective agents in society in this democratic situation that we're dealing with.
Wow, I think that's absolutely amazing. So again, thank you, Professor Hackett, for joining us today. We're going to send it back to you in the studio.
Now let's go with Jeanette Alvarado with entertainment.
Thank you. Tyra Banks has been revealed as the new MC for the 12th season of America's Got Talent. The supermodel and former America's Next Top Model host will replace Nick Cannon, who hosted for 8 seasons. Tyra says she has been obsessed with grandiose acts and performers since she was a little girl and looks forward to connecting with the contestants. Tyra will join Howie Mandel, Mel B, Heidi Klum, and Simon Cowell when the show comes on in the summer. Olympic gold medalist Simone Biles clapped back at an internet troll. The upset fan used the payment sharing app Venmo to send Biles a payment request for $1,000 for losing at the Olympics. The gymnast wrote on Twitter that the last time she checked, winning 5 medals wasn't losing. Biles won 3 individual gold medals, 1 bronze, and a gold medal shared with her teammates in the 2016 Summer Games in Rio. Despite concern from some of his friends, Richard Simmons is fine. The Los Angeles Police Department was called to investigate an allegation he was being held hostage by his housekeeper. LAPD talked to Simmons at his home where he assured them he was not being held against his will. In the past year, there have been numerous concerns for the celebrity fitness trainer's well-being. Simmons has publicly announced that he is doing fine and doing what he wants. Illusionist Chris Angel returned to his Las Vegas show only 24 hours after being released from the hospital. Chris was performing his famous upside-down straitjacket escape when he suddenly lost consciousness. The famed magician was then lowered and rushed to the hospital. Chris released a statement blaming dehydration and a lack of sleep for the mishap. After signing himself out of the hospital, he returned and gave his stunt another try, this time successfully freeing himself. That's all for entertainment. Now back to you.
The CIA is using games to train its staff. Card games like Pokemon are used to teach the staff intelligent collection strategies and hurdles. David Klopper has 16 years of experience with the CIA. He is the agency's game maker. He says that games are a part of the human condition and are a great way to train intelligence agents and political analysts for real-world situations. Although old-school games are trainers' main inspiration, they feel like virtual reality gaming will be part of their classwork soon.
Music can hold a culture together. Valley View News reporter Cynthia Marin shows us a Pacoima program that shares the sound.
That beautiful melody is one of many that students at the Lluvia y Fuego Mariachi Academy will learn. Angelo Salazar is a guitar instructor at Lluvia y Fuego and says he teaches youngsters because of his own childhood experience.
There wasn't many schools available at an affordable price because my parents also Latino, so it's kind of like, oh, that's too expensive to go there. So we've designed a program here to tailor to that type of community, you know. So I'm here eager to teach the children and bring that opportunity that I wasn't given when I was younger.
Lluvia y Fuego opened its doors 5 months ago and teaches mariachi to both children and adults.
Guitar lessons aren't the only ones offered at Lluvia y Fuego. Classes range from violin, vihuela, guitarrón, and trumpet. And there's even voice lessons.
The school also provides a recording studio for artists to compose and record material. The students here range in age from 6 to 60. Students are taught in small groups, and they learn from instructors who share their passion for music with their students.
I like how I learn new stuff.
My name is Juan. I started this project. I don't consider it like a business because it's not really giving me, like money. I'm not like that. And everything that happens here is not really for the sake of money, but for the sake of education, art, music.
Now I be a malachi.
Students pay $100 a month for the lessons, but that money also goes towards buying their own instruments. In Pacoima, I'm Cynthia Marin for Valley View News.
Those kids were so cute
and adorable.
Thanks for watching Valley View News. I'm Grecia Lopez.
And I'm Susanna Guzman.